Gareth, since you've come back from your injury and your suspension of a long 2 months, you haven't had a winner yet, and you were just telling me that you're finding it hugely frustrating and hugely irritating.
Yes, it's very difficult because before I went off, I had some good momentum and I was having some winners, and it's a bit tough. Like I'm trying hard. It's a bit of a blow to the system because you thrive on momentum, and when that's broken, sometimes it's tough to come back. And the trick is I'm just trying to keep focused and keep calm and do what I know what to do. And it'll come, but it is frustrating because it's been a long month without a winner. And especially when you've been getting success on a regular occasion. So it is tough and it's mentally challenging, it's hard, but
it will come back, as you say, and I think you must think of you've ridden winners before, you've been successful before, and there's no reason why this little dry spell, will pass and the winners will flow again.
Yeah, but I find that, I've been in this game a long time. Jockeys go off for 1 month, 2 months. People forget quickly. It doesn't matter who you are. You're Frankie Dettori, and they forget about you. So you've got to be, you've got to just take it as it comes, and then you've got to build on that momentum again, as Gareth said. But people forget about you quickly in this game.
Yeah, and when you've been out of the mix, it's also harder to get the rise you used to get.
Yes.
So it's I've been lucky enough to have a yard that supports me. They too go off now and then. They won't fire all the time.
Sure.
But it's a road a lot of us go through. It's not smooth sailing for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it makes it tough. I've been around not long, but a little while, and I've been through some tough situations and I've come out of it. So I know how to get personally myself back to where I need to be. So it's about getting my mind on track and trusting myself and my ability and
plugging away.
Yes.
But it is tough, and I follow the trends sometimes. You look at yards and statistics, and all of us, punters, trainers, owners, jockeys, breeders, everyone, analysts, go through good times and bad times. And
well, as a punter, I've been in a bad time for a long time.
For the last 73 years. But and it turns and things come right for all of us. So it's like Dennis Dryer's stable. He was going through a bit of a quiet patch. Now they're banging the winners enclosure again. Some of the stables are also going a little quiet at the moment, but it happens. It happens, and I'm just using Dennis as an example. There's many other jockeys and trainers, and it's lovely to see Dennis in the winners enclosure again. Now, let me introduce the team. It's of course Gareth Wright, KwaZulu-Natal based jockey. He's our guest today, and Andrew Harrison, my bushy head friend, who's here. You're not so grumpy today. You're okay. Nice to have you with us.
I'm all right. Ashburton was good this morning.
Everybody in good spirits.
Everybody was in good spirits. No one bloody moaning as usual.
Mr. Humby.
Yeah.
Mr. Humby, yeah.
No, Humby's right. He was cheerful this morning. Humbles.
No, Humbles, nothing wrong. Okay, Gareth, let's find out a bit more about you and how did you hear about horse racing and this profession called jockey? Where did it all start for you?
Well, my parents actually worked with the casinos. My father, so we travelled quite a bit around South Africa, and we ended up in Scottsville.
Okay.
And that's, as a youngster, we were in the play area across the course, and we used to run under the tunnel when the horses used to come past. But at that time, I had no idea. Yeah, I didn't know I was going to enter into the sport, Yes. So, but when I was in grade 10, I was in Maysville College, and my mom actually applied, but she said my father wanted to when I was younger, but he passed a couple of years earlier. So that's how it happened. Apparently it was their plan to try it out, because I was very small. They said I was going to get a growth spurt because my uncle was quite tall, and it never came. So I was waiting a while.
Waiting for it to happen, but it didn't. And then, thank goodness it didn't for you.
I've always been good with animals and all that, so it was tough, but it came pretty easily, I must say. I quite enjoy it, to be honest.
So who were your first years in the academy with
we had a small bunch, but I think quite a decent bunch. It's myself, JP van der Merwe, Grant van Niekerk, although he re-entered, he came a couple of years before, but he came back when I was there. And then it was Twaro Api and Atendiwe, you know, Atendiwe, yeah. So,
Did you hear what school this gentleman went to?
Marisburg College.
So there we go. Where were you again?
I went to Hilton. I went to a Gossip School.
Let's talk about your work ethic, because I've had a word with, well, in interviews, we've had trainers always talk about your work ethic, whether you're sick or you're not sick, and it's hard to keep you away from work, and it must be one of your biggest attributes, barring your riding ability, the fact that you take your work so seriously.
I find, you know, and also being, if you're not really in demand all the time, you got to put in the work, you know. So, especially with a trainer like this, like Byron, that I know I've got horses I'm going to ride. So, rain or shine, doesn't matter. I'm going to be there. Whether he wants me there Sunday to Monday, I'm going to be there. And yes, I don't always ride for a lot of other people. I come early some days, but I make sure I'm at Byron String every day of the week, regardless. Even if we're trotting, I'll be at work and I'll stand there. I'll be in case. So I find it's, in a way, I'm making my own luck sometimes if I'm working harder. Like if I want to push myself, I'll come early and just try to ride around. You never know, one horse can make a big difference, can set you up for bigger things. So, like I said earlier, I've probably been a bit disappointed or irritated lately, so a bit slack, but I'm starting to find my stride again.
We are human, everybody's human.
Ride for some other people again, so...
It's time to irritate a few trainers. You go hang around like a bloody bog flower, then eventually they'll give you a ride.
My strong suit has never been... I've never been that outspoken too, so... But racing has woken me up a bit, so I think that's been my... hold me back a little bit.
Yes.
So, but once I get in the thick of things again, I'm not afraid to, because I know what I'm doing. I know horses, and I know. Then I'm not afraid to ask for rides. But you go through stages where you're not feeling that confident, and but.
Do you have an agent, Gareth?
I do not. I have had in the past.
Okay, but so you're doing things on your own at the moment?
Yes, I find that I'm based in Durban. I don't see why I can't just take time and only ride in one centre. So every Friday when the noms come out, if I phone trainers and I can speak to them face to face, I find it easier that way. It's better for me to speak to them face to face.
Absolutely. And as you say, if you're a quiet, gentle-spoken person, it also gives you the opportunity to speak and come out of your shell.
Well, sometimes it's difficult to pick up the telephone and phone someone. I mean, I find it difficult anyway.
I used to be very very, I wouldn't say scared, but nervous, because I was quite shy to ask for rides. The worst thing they can say is no.
No, absolutely.
It took me keep that in the back of your mind.
Yes.
The worst they can say is no.
But Andrew, as we say, every human being in the world is different. Some people are loud and outspoken. Some people are shy and quiet. Some people are not prepared to ask for things, or if you need a lift or you need a favour.
Like Muzi when he was an apprentice, he used to phone Mike de Kock in Dubai and say, "Hey, I want to ride this horse."
That's right.
I rode here, I think, a couple months or two, and then they offered me to come here and ride for them in Durban. And obviously, I didn't know Byron that well, but they gave me that opportunity, which I think I needed, because I think I was stuck in Cape Town, because I wasn't really progressing. I was just kind of stuck in my ways, and this kind of woke me up a bit, because now I've got a yard, I've got horses I can work with. And
motivates you a bit more.
Exactly. So I had to come out my shell, and I had to gives my chance to prove myself a bit more and do the job, you know.
Right.
So I'm very grateful for the opportunity, and I say Andre's a very nice person. You know, I've met Mrs. Plattner once or twice, not a great deal, but yeah, they've been very good to me, and working with Byron too. He's a lovely person to work for.
Byron's a sort of like, what weight do you ride? I mean, you can ride 52, can you?
Yes, I can.
Yeah,
I can.
which is
At
a
the
good
moment, I like to keep it at 53, but if I have to, I can do 52 quite comfortably, yes.
Right. A bonus, especially when they're looking at lightweights for big races.
Yeah, like I did ride 52 in July when I rode Camperatus.
Right.
If I just watch it casually during the week, and then it comes down pretty easily, yeah.
You talk about Cape Town, you know, yes, you mainly ride for the Nell stable here in KwaZulu-Natal, but, you know, you've ridden some Champs-Élysées and the Cape
Yes,
recently. Yes. They've given you some chances down there too, which is good. Let's talk about that Champs-Élysées. I'll never forget that day that Champs-Élysées Gareth rode it. There were some ridiculous odds about this horse, 30-1 or 40-1, and I had a little wager, and the whole neighbourhood heard me when Gareth came cruising through, and unfortunately he ran second, but it was a good effort. Nice type of horse.
Lovely, lovely horse. They were quite bullish about her. Said she's quite a nice horse. She shows a bit, but they need to step her up and to see if they've got something there. So, and when I cantered down to the start, I could feel I had a bit of something there. And I think that run she was still quite immature. She came off the bit halfway around the turn and all that. So she still finished the race well. And as you saw after that, she really improved drastically after that, and she won the Group 1. So, yeah.
Is she here in KZN for the champion season?
No, she is not here yet. No.
Is she, do you think, will she come up? Do you think? With the
I'm not sure if she's going to come. So,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about. We were just talking at the beginning of the show about injuries and rehabilitation and getting better. And some might say, well, why do you want to talk about that? It's not a pleasant thing. I think we must talk about it because it's important that, like, you know, any sports, injuries do happen, sadly, and it's not an easy job in the sense that, you know, you're putting your life on the line every time you get onto a horse's back.
Well, think injuries with jockeys. I mean, you're falling off a horse. I mean, it's
going
a long way down to the ground, yeah.
And at a speed.
And if you're going at a speed, I mean, you can fall off when the horse is just rears and fall over backwards. But you just look at all of MJ Bailiffels had to retire. Can't fix him up. And Gareth broke your ankle.
I think we also had a similar type of injury. I don't know if there's differences.
His bones are obviously no good.
And it's very unfortunate that he's not able to carry on riding.
That's hard. I mean, I had a friend of mine, he stepped off the rock while he was fishing and smashed his ankle. And had the same problem. The bones wouldn't knit.
So Gareth, yeah, it's you know, injuries and you've sadly had a couple and you know, you just bounce back and you come back and yeah, some people, as you say, are not strong, and some people are stronger in the sense that their bones don't knit. But tell us about a few of your injuries and the rehab and the whole process, because it's not only your body you've got to rehabilitate, you've got to rehabilitate your mind as well.
Yes. I've actually only had the one serious injury. I think I've fractured my fingers twice or 3 times in Cape Town. But this was the most serious injury I've had, was when I broke my ankle when the horse ducked after the post. Sure. So, but as you say, the
rehabilitation
sorry, is quite tough, because I went through a stage where I thought I wasn't going to be able to walk again, because I was just sitting around waiting for it to heal, and it was tough. But then taking your first steps again and getting into it, it's also, as you say, it's a mind. You got to want to get back. And once I started walking and doing physio, I wanted to get back quickly, and I wanted to get back riding. So I suppose.
And you wanted to play soccer with Jared Samuel.
No, I've never been a good soccer player, to be honest.
Well, Jared wasn't too good either, but
he won't agree. He won't agree.
He wouldn't say that. I quite enjoy. I used to play action cricket in Cape Town with Aldo and a lot of other guys. But I can't do that anymore. I can't really run much with this ankle. So it hinders my think. Sorry, I'm
Hinders
lost
your
of
riding,
words
yeah,
there.
sure,
No,
yeah.
not my riding. Well,
No,
I prepared myself for riding with the physio.
Sure.
I never prepared myself to get back into like a running and
Sport
and
fair
sports
enough,
and
because
all that.
obviously
So,
riding is your priority. That's
Yes.
that's where you've
but
got to.
I do miss playing action cricket. And okay, I swing a golf club now and then. I don't often play golf, but I used to when I was younger. So I go to the driving range now and then.
Okay.
But yeah, it's at the moment there's still aches and pains, but that's all a part of it. With injuries, you just got to keep nursing it. And
You see, as you were just saying, relax. I'm not going to.
Jab me with a
I'm
pen.
not going to pick on you today.
No.
Do you catch? I'm not going to.
That's
pick.
weak.
It's one of those, what do you call them, dad jokes? One of those weak dad
Bad
jokes.
dad jokes.
Bad dad jokes. I'm not going to pick on you today.
got a very bad one.
You've
We're
got a
driving
very
past someone walking on the highway, and Mrs. put a pinky toe by the window and said, "Do you need a toe?" So it was funny at the time. And,
It's one of those, you had to be there, absolutely. But anyway, yeah, I do need it.
she won't be happy I brought that up.
So don't worry, I'm not going. He didn't need it. The chap on the highway didn't need a toe, and I'm not going to pick on you, toothpick on you. You were just explaining about where the injuries can take place. You know, it's not only in a race, on a race course. There, Gareth said, after the race, after the finishing post, that's when the horse ducked, and that's where his injury came. And you've obviously got the race tracks, the training tracks, stables. You could be on a horse walking in the walking ring, and it rears, as you say, and you're injured. So it's dangerous wherever you go. After the post is where the man
This is a
got injured.
dangerous thing. It's simple as that. I mean, some people treat them as pets.
You could fall, have a softest fall, and then you're injured. It's
Absolutely.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And, you can treat them as pets, but you've got to be aware of what you're doing all the time.
Gareth, let's talk about your family, your I'll say greater family, if that's the right word to use. You said that your dad sadly passed away, and your mom, and do you have any brothers and sisters? Tell us about your family.
Yeah, so it's at the moment it's my mom, my mother. She stays in Amkamas, and then I have a sister in the UK. She's married there, and then it's myself, my daughter, which is 9 months, my wife Karen, and her family. She's got quite a big family.
Okay.
So I have a good. My family is not the biggest because I haven't been in touch with the rest of my family. They've been very good with keeping in touch with people.
Good idea.
So, but my wife's family have been great supporters of mine, and taken on to racing and what I do. So I'm very grateful for that too. So I've been very welcomed into the family quite nicely. So
Good. Just before we carry on learning about Gareth, now the table, Thursday is a very busy day at Summerfelt because there's the podcast, there's the understarters, orders, interviews that need to be recorded, as you know. Thursday is a very busy day production-wise, and we record this podcast here at the Summerfelt Clubhouse where the breakfasts are glorious. And this table is where the best podcast in the world sits, in the Box Seat podcast. But in the table in the corner, I don't know if you've noticed, because you haven't noticed, the 3 mugs that are sitting there trying to enjoy their breakfast. I'll come back to you, Gareth, in a moment, but you know, there's a saying that never mess with the team behind the mic. They've been sending me signals, I don't know what signals they're trying to send, signs, rude things. I mean, you can't see because you've got your back to them, but there they are, and they're enjoying their breakfast, and they're just trying to put me off. I can't be put off. The other day, Paul Afferty stood behind the camera while I was on live television and tried to do funny things, and I didn't flinch. Philip Furry, the transport man, tried to put me off. I can't be put off.
Maybe you're a bit off.
So to the whole team from the understarters orders team enjoying their breakfast at the Summerfeld Clubhouse making funny signs, enjoy your breakfast. And to Terry, who is leaving us, Terry is a part of the team. She goes down to Cape Town to start off a new career and a new life down in the Cape. So we wish her well. Terry, enjoy your breakfast and have a safe trip down to Cape Town. And stop giving me all those naughty signs, the rest of you. Now that I've stuck them away, can we carry on? Let's talk about when you wake up in the morning, Gareth. You wake up, firstly, what time do you wake up in the morning?
Late as possible.
no,
Yeah, late as possible, 10 past
now
3.
with my daughter, like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Sure. Okay.
But then I would normally get here before Byron String, and recently I've been coming at about 5 o'clock, 5:30, to ride for some other trainers. So normally, like the last 9 months, I've been waking up very early.
Okay.
But I would try to get back to sleep and have a little half an hour before I get up again. But I'll try to come earlier and a little bit earlier to ride for a few more people. But normally I'm here just before 6 when the horses pull out.
When we interviewed Tony Riverland in the Box Seat podcast, I asked him the question, what is the first thing you do or the first thing you reach for, but the first thing you do as you open your eyes? He said he reaches for his cell phone to see what's gone down on the trainers group. What is the first thing you do in the morning? You wake up, what do you do?
I'll go to the bathroom, brush my teeth normally.
Okay.
Then I'll get dressed, then put the kettle on,
Okay.
have a cup of tea. Sometimes I'll take my tea with me on the way. So, yeah.
Okay. What time do you leave work in the morning? Because you're a hard worker. You wait till the last horse is done?
It depends what time the string finishes. Like today we finished probably 20 to 10.
Okay.
If there is a third string, which there isn't at the moment, we'll finish later, 10:30. But at the moment, probably sometimes 9 o'clock, sometimes it's after. So not that late. Yeah.
So I mean, so you would generally, because you don't want to be put under pressure for work-wise. You know, if you've got appointments, or you try and schedule them for later in the
Always
day, or
probably after 11.
Okay, so,
So, yes.
All right. How's your weight? I mean, how's your weight? Because Gareth's touched on his weight. I was going to ask him now about his weight, but he's already touched on that.
Oh, my weight's good, eh?
Your weight's good.
Sitting at about 120.
Never.
Gareth, if I had to say to you, we're taking you out for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. We're taking you for a meal. What do you like to eat? Your favourite meal?
I enjoy spaghetti bolognese and probably macaroni and cheese.
Okay,
It's probably my favourite.
You must have a bit of Italian there. Spaghetti, bolognese, macaroni, cheese, all the
Oh, he's
pastas.
lucky you can eat that.
My father was British side.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
so I don't know where
Fish
that
and chips
comes
then.
from.
Tikka chicken.
I enjoy fish and chips too. I quite like food, to be honest.
Nothing wrong with that.
Okay, now, then, non-alcoholic or alcoholic, your favourite drink?
I do enjoy a beer now and then.
Okay.
I'm not really fussy which beer.
Okay.
be
As long as
honest.
it's cold.
Yeah, as long as it's cold. And yeah, probably normal juice. I'm not too
Okay.
fussy. I don't have favourites.
Favourites, okay.
I'll pretty much
Okay, but if you're socialising and you're out to the brass, I mean, a nice ice cold beer will
a
go
beer
down
or
well.
some Jack and Lime.
Okay,
you
Jack
know.
and Lime, okay. What car do you drive,
I
Gareth?
have a Clio, Renault Clio.
Okay, okay. Pizza, pineapple on or off?
I like pineapple, but I don't think you should. Not that I have anything against it. I just don't eat it like that.
Yeah, okay.
I don't like too many things on my pizza. That's all.
Okay, okay. So you're a preferably pineapple not on a pizza. I've asked you, but I've forgotten. You don't mind it,
I
huh?
don't care. Food's food.
Yeah, no, eat it. Tawanda, do you have pineapple on a pizza?
No.
No, you don't. Sam? No. Raheel?
Like olives.
Pineapple, you're getting a
No,
yes. Pineapple on a
I
pizza?
can't do olives.
Go on, do olives. Oh.
It's a no from Zane and from Terry. What is that a? Yes, that's a yes. Okay, so we've got a general mix and match. Hobbies, you're working, you're racing, you're riding all the time. Do you have time for, I mean, touched on
Well,
golf, but
At the moment, I've been going to the driving range
okay.
occasionally just to get my head straight and just you get some time to yourself, hit a few balls, trying to get my swing right
Take your
again.
frustration out on the golf course.
Yeah, but the trick is you can't hit it too hard. You just got to be nice and smooth. you know.
Smooth, yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's
What do they
what
say?
I know about
Yeah,
golf.
well, that's what they say. Let the club do the work for you. Don't let you do the work
So,
for the club. Yeah.
I'm not a professional, so. But I quite enjoy golf. Otherwise, and go-karting, I'm addicted.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's a racing thing. I'm addicted to go-karts. Whenever I have a chance, I'll go go-karting.
Go-karting. Okay, that's
Yeah.
interesting. It is good fun, yeah, go-karting.
I can't
Okay.
even drive a car. never mind
Okay,
drive.
well, you go so slowly. I mean, I know you've got to be cautious and you've got to be careful, but goodness gracious me, you can go more than 40 on the national highways. You've been on a holiday in the sense that forced holiday, you were suspended and injured, but your most recent, or where do you like going on holiday, or where have you been recently for a bit of a break?
I enjoy the beach. Eh?
Okay,
It
you're a
doesn't
coast
really have
person.
to be any specific place. Like
Okay.
I lived in Cape Town, but I still quite enjoy sitting there and seeing the sea. Even driving in Durban, I'll drive down the coast and just drive near the beach. It just does something
sort of
for me. I just
mesmerizes
enjoy
you,
it. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like we've been away to Lake Eland
Okay.
on a little chalet, and you've got a little dam. I also enjoy fishing.
Fishing, yeah, yeah.
So you throw a line, just in peace. I don't need to be around a lot of people.
Okay. Yeah, I get that. I sense that with Gareth. He likes his own space, and his close family, and the quiet. A bit like you. Don't want to get aggravated. You and Gareth should maybe go fishing together.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Do that.
Now, come race day, are there any rituals or routines, or what's on a race day? Do you sort of?
I don't really have any routines or rituals.
No superstitions.
I'm not really superstitious either. I don't really believe in all that stuff. It doesn't really bother me too much. It's either going to happen or it's not. You know what I mean?
There's nothing you can do about it. You're quite right.
I think I just like to be in my own zone. I don't want to go to the shop or do this or do that. I just want to get home and relax, get my stuff ready and relax, and then I go off to races.
When you get into that jockey room, what's the first thing you do? I mean, a lot of people will get in there and check their weight, but I mean...
I'll probably have a cup of tea.
Cup of tea.
I drink a lot of tea at races there.
Okay, all right, so you're a
It's
tea
like,
man.
that's probably my routine, but I enjoy
Yes,
my
okay,
tea. So.
cup of tea. So you get in, put your bags down and a cup of tea, okay.
Okay, depending if I have to ride light, then I won't have a cup of tea.
You won't have?
No,
Oh,
most
okay.
of the time, yeah.
Okay, now let me just check my list here with the questions that we had for Gareth, because there's also a lot of news that we've got to touch on. I just want to double check here.
Better hurry up, Gareth needs to.
Yeah, I am checking here. That's all I had for Gareth, and if there's anything else you need to add, and we're going to...
You still keep in touch with Jared?
I haven't spoken to him in a while. I was, like I said, I'm not the best in keeping in touch with people.
But
So
like
you're the quiet one and Jared never stops talking.
But when he was here, we used to. Yeah. I went to Maritzburg to play soccer with him.
Soccer with him, yeah. He always
Before I broke my ankle and stuff. So,
see-
and he played action cricket with us too. So,
thank goodness for social media, because we follow him on Instagram, and he seems to be enjoying it there. He puts up a couple of pictures, and he seems to be doing okay, which is nice.
Yeah.
Gareth, all that's left from our side is to say thanks for your time. I know it's been a busy morning and a busy schedule. And who are you blowing kisses to?
Yeah, Gareth.
It's been a nice time, but not that nice a time.
he's enjoying himself more than us.
Thank you, and we wish you all the best. And I look forward to interviewing you, or one of our colleagues interviewing you in the winners' enclosure soon. I've got no doubt it will be, because you've ridden winners, you know how to ride winners, and you're a good horseman. Thanks for your time, and we look forward to your next winner.
Oh, thanks for having me. Warren.
No
Thank
problem.
you very much.
And whenever you're free to get up and disappear, you're most welcome, Andrew, and I'll carry on with the rest of our show. But thanks for your time, and all the very best.
Thank you.
Lovely, Gareth. Thanks so much. And Andrew, Gareth, such a lovely,
So he's quiet, I think. It's
quiet gentleman. Absolutely.
Yeah,
he just goes about his business in the
I
right
think you
way.
need to fire him up and he'll probably get more right, so.
Absolutely. Now, before you assault me again,
God, you're getting worse and worse.
before you assault me again,
Yeah, carry on, Pepper. Yeah.
when I came up to Summerfeld this morning,
No,
sorry,
no,
I mustn't say it.
no.
I must say it. When I drove up to Summerfeld this morning, for you to assault me, I got caught in a terrible jam. In a traffic jam.
Lucky your name's not Chris Rock,
Then when I stopped
because
at
I'd
the
slap you.
Chris Rock. I think we must talk about that too. But I was just doing that to irritate you, because they are not funny.
You
They're
probably
actually
irritated
disgusting.
all the people too.
Somebody next to the table shouting, those should be bloopers. But anyway, that was just a bit of fun.
Okay, carry on.
Listen to me now. The National Yearling Sales
Right.
are taking place at the TBA complex, Johannesburg. And TBA doesn't mean the venues to be announced. It's the Thoroughbred Breeders Association, TBA.
At Gosforth Park.
Correct. There's the catalogue, and get yourselves to the sales arena, buy yourself a horse, and
Yeah, we're going to try and get Alistair Gordon onto the show one of these days.
yes,
If we can, it's like pulling teeth, but hopefully we can get him on.
it's not like pulling teeth with Alistair. He's a different division. He's like Gareth, a quiet, well-spoken gentleman. And for those of you that haven't been to the sales arena, it's so exciting. Have you been before?
No.
It goes like this. A lot number 140 from the Big Sky Ranch, a Verse and Getterix Colt. Anybody got 100,000? 100,000 around the ring. I got 200.
But after 400, it gets a bit boring.
It does get a bit boring, but it's absolutely fabulous. Get to the sales, the Bloodstock South Africa National Yearling Sale. We've wished Terry farewell. And talking of farewells, very sad day yesterday in the racing industry. Mr. Rattray, whom we've had the pleasure of sitting with at the races, being with and just talking to him, Mr. and Mrs. Rattray, he sadly passed away, but he was unwell, and he's resting peacefully, but what a tragic loss.
It was a tragic loss. I mean, he's been one of the doyens of the industry. I mean, I think Bill Lambert was saying that all those older chaps who've been looking after racing, they've been involved in racing, their own racehorses. There's few and far of them. There's a few of them left. You know, got Chris Saunders. Who else was there? Was Mike Rattray.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, they were captains of the industry. I mean, Mike was chairman of the Durban Turf Club at one stage. He got it going. He took no nonsense. Everything was run. He owned Mala.
Yes.
He also brought in the Santa Gertrude cattle into this country, which is quite good. And so he was a good businessman and a great man to keep the country going.
Never realised one of his dreams. He went close.
Oh, he did.
Vodacom, Durban, July. Now the Hollywood Bets, Durban, July. But he had seconds, and
Celtic Grove and Yardom second. Yeah.
So to the whole Rattray family, our thoughts and prayers and condolences go out to all of you. MJ Baylor felt sad to hear that he's eventually had to hand in his license and hang up his boots. And I sent him a message the other day, and he was quite upbeat and quite okay with what's happened. It's no good fighting it and really getting yourself down, because he's a likeable youngster, is MJ, and he was a phenomenal jockey. Just sad that again.
No, it is sad, but it is what it is. But he was also a Bull supporter, which
doesn't go down well with you.
He's a bit low in my estimation. But MJ, it's sad to see you stop. Let's hope we can see you on the racecourse interviewing jockeys, because I think his jockey interviews were quite good, because he knows them all.
Brilliant, absolutely. And that is what he's going to be doing, a little bit of TV presenting, which is fantastic. And MJ, we're going to miss you in the saddle, but we'll certainly enjoy your presence at the races and, as Andrew says, interviewing, because his TV career, which has been is short so far, he's done damn good.
No, he has done well. So you get better and better as you become more au fait with what you're doing.
We bumped into Muzi Yeni at the races yesterday, you and I, and he tried to bring back a memory of 12 years ago. Now, I can't remember what happened 12 minutes ago, never mind 12 years ago. And he seemed to enjoy the Sharks. Apparently the Sharks used to come to the races and ride racehorses. Is that right?
Yeah, they did have a
race,
I think, for 2 years, and then they had a race, and then what happened was, and I think it was Caboose van der Westerhuizen, they gave him some horse with a mouth like a piece of string.
Yes. And
he disappeared around the track about 3 times. So I think after that they decided it wasn't such a good idea anymore.
Okay. But so we must, I don't know where we're going to find that footage, but that Muzi's looking for. But now that you mention it and Muzi mentioned it, those were quite fun in those days, but that was a long time ago.
Good laugher. And they used to have the old veteran jockeys races. I remember Dennis Bosch winning one and then going around with a tote board and being a bit sick. He was so tired. But veteran jockeys, that was good fun.
It was lovely having you on TV yesterday, by the way.
No, I got ambushed.
You got ambushed. Lovely to have you on TV. We need you more on the box. Talk about box. Let's talk about boxing. Kevin Lorena, he can fight. He can box that fella.
It's good.
He's had one ride in his life, in a work riders race for Dennis Bosch, Mr. Fitzgerald, and he won.
Okay.
I got him that ride.
But he's cruiserweight. No, I don't think he'd be riding any horses.
He wanted to be a jockey, but he had one ride, one win. I think that's the stat.
Yeah.
Kev, if you're watching, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure it's one ride, one winner, or it's one winner and a handful of rides. But yeah, the Lorena genes have all got horses in them, and Kevin Lorena now is a boxer, but he can fight. He's a good boxer. Okay.
Unlike you.
Well. Don't be scared. Don't be scared if you see me in the boxing ring competing one of these days, because I've got 3 trainers that are on me, and if they carry on anymore, something's going to give. My knees are shaking, my legs are finished, my back is sore, my neck's pulled. So if I stand up to the program, you could be coming to see me in the boxing ring one day.
Yeah. No, I remember at Stellenbosch University we used to have inter-residential boxing tournaments. I thought I was quite cool, you know. Got lined up and we were practicing, and the coach was there, and I thought, I'll give this bloke I took a swing at him, drilled him. He said, okay, you want a box? But he knocked me flat the next one, so I gave up after that.
You thought he was meant, I
thought I was
in a cardboard box.
I thought I was quite cool. He nearly put me in a cardboard box. He hit me so hard.
Andrew, talking about boxing, we must wish the legend boxing family, the Toe Wheels, and they love our show. They watch our podcast all the time, and they sent a lovely Toe Wheel boxing shirt for us, and we thank them for that. But it was Candy and Floyd Toe Wheel's birthday. Well, it was Candy's birthday and Candy and Floyd Toe Wheel's anniversary yesterday while we were racing at Hollywood Bet Scottsville. So from the In the Box Seat team, happy anniversary and happy birthday to a legend family in the boxing department, and a legend family in the racing too. This weekend, there's plenty racing action, and the Gold Circle team have been up in Gauteng. There's going to be interviews and preview shows done on the racing that takes place this weekend. Michelle Wing and her team assure me that there's going to be 2 inserts released today and 1 tomorrow about the feature races. And let's just tell you what the feature races are at Turffontein. And again, our Gold Circle social media team will be there to cover the events for you. The 5th race is the World Sports Betting Man of War Sprint. The 6th race is the Wilgeborgsdrift HF Oppenheimer Horse Chestnut Stakes, a Group 1 event. The Sprint is a Grade 3. Then there's the Wilgeborgsdrift SA Oaks, a Group 2 event. Then there's the World Sports Betting SA Derby, another Group 1 event. Then there's the World Sports Betting 10,000 Rand First Deposit Match Craddock Gold Cup, a Grade 3 event. Plenty racing action this weekend. Look forward to it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Comedy goes in the Hawaii Stakes.
Yeah.
Or no, the Horse Chestnut Stakes. Because traditionally horses from Cape Town don't do too well there. But I know Joey Ramsden. I think Joey Ramsden won this race. Yeah.
Yes. Also nice to see at the Summerveld Clubhouse this morning, Garth Nosworthy from That's Racing. He's just walked in with a big smile on his face, so he's obviously been with the horses. He's not a bad wedding videographer either, is Garth Nosworthy, and he does a lot of work behind the scenes for the racing industry, so we'll catch up with Garth a little bit later. But Safe Passage was scratched this week, or is scratched this weekend. Yes. Michelle Wing says the reason, virus.
Yeah.
Perfect Witness, also scratched, has a temperature.
Right.
So those are the reasons for these good horses not running in these feature races.
It's a bit sad, that.
Very sad.
Yeah,
very
detracts
sad
from the racing, but yeah,
it is
what it is.
It does what to the race?
It says it detracts from the race.
That's the word you used. Okay, so yeah, it certainly does detract a bit, but it is what it is. Horse safety and horse health comes first. So lots of preview shows on the Gold Circle social media platforms. Go and take a look at it. Chatting to Michelle Wing, who's done these fabulous inserts for us that we'll see later on today, she tells us that she bumped into Mike de Kock, and he's going to be renting 20 boxes here in the province for champion season, and it's going to be another cracker of that, I have no doubt.
Yeah, I'm glad he's coming down, and so he'll have 20 boxes. So I don't know what Sean Terry, is he going to raid, or is he got boxes?
I'm not sure. Know. I think he'll raid like he normally does, but apparently Mike says that it's Trezidi and far kinder, and I agree with him.
No, for sure. See him on the beach in his Speedo.
Mark de Kock in a Speedo. I don't know if you're going to see that. You might see him on the golf course, though. Okay, Andrew, that's probably about it. Let's talk about racing in KwaZulu-Natal this weekend. Now, we don't want to talk about the weather and put people off, but you say that you've done your homework with regards to you fancy yourself a bit of a weatherman, and you say there's a bit of rain around in the province, but we'll see what happens.
Usually when I say it's going to rain, it doesn't.
Well, lovely.
But Humble says it's going to rain, so we listen to him.
Hollywood Bet Scottsville, Sunday the 3rd of April. It's April Fool's Day tomorrow. Don't try and pull any jokes on me, hey? I'll just try to pull you some terrible jokes.
Terrible
jokes.
Yeah.
Lots. Is this the official? No, it's not the official opening of champion season.
No, that's the Guineas.
The Guineas meeting. Okay. Let's tell you, though, what we've got at Hollywood Bet Scottsville on Sunday. The 5th race is the King's Cup, a listed event. The 6th race is the Mzimkhulu Stakes, a Grade 3 event. The 7th race is the Bali Turk, another Grade 3 event. The 8th race is the KwaZulu-Natal Stakes, a listed event over 1,000 metres. If that's not enough to get your heart pumping and the adrenaline going, then I don't know.
Yeah, it's nice because these are the warm-up races for the big season. So the 3-year-olds, you'll be looking at horses that could improve for the Guineas, and the King's Cup too for the it's a nice pipe opener for the older races.
Do you have one horse that you could suggest to our followers? And I'll tell you, we've got followers, so don't say have we got any followers, because we have.
Oh.
And one horse for them for the weekend for this race meeting at Scotland.
Yeah, well, it's short price. You're not going to get any money. Alabama Sky, I think that'll win. Yeah.
Okay, you like Alabama Sky.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. A short price winner is better than a long price loser, is it not?
This is true.
My one for the race meeting is in the 2nd race, horse number 8, Cinnamon Blush. So if you're supporters of Andrew and I, Cinnamon Blush and Alabama Sky. That's a wrap from us. It's been a wonderful podcast. Thank you to Andrew for his time. Thank you to Gareth Wright for his time. To Wanda, Sam, the whole team behind the scenes. Please be safe, be nice, be kind. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and there's plenty of action on our social media platforms this weekend. Get onto the Gold Circle's Facebook page and Instagram and Twitter. Lots of action coming for you. Inserts. Did you see that wonderful, wonderful insert done on, well, there were two. One on racing slang and the other one was on Michael Roberts.
I thought they were both very good, except I couldn't believe the racing slang. The blokes were so doof.
I'll tell it as it is. That's the right way. They were. I must say they were. They need to learn.
Oh, Sam was
Sam.
Very.
Well, they've learned now. That's the one way to learn is to watch the racing slang and I think also on podcasts and on TV shows we sometimes are a bit reserved to use the racing slang. And I was talking to Rahil yesterday. There is racing slang that can't lose or fancied strong, etc., etc. And Terry Fripp always walks in onto the set.
Knock the camera down.
Just knock the camera out and.
No, but that racing slang. But
everyone knows about it, and
I
how
think
to.
It's actually quite a good lesson to learn. Is that we're talking to people who don't really know anything about
correct,
racing. So,
correct.
Need to educate them.
Absolutely,
What are some of your favorites?
I can't mention them
because they involve a bit of bad language. Stop that now. And now, Andrew, and the Michael Roberts insert was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Okay, that's a wrap from all of us. Enjoy all the coverage and the racing news and everything that we've got for you on our social media platforms. From Warren Lenferner, Andrew Harrison, Tawanda Tadavinga, and the whole team, we'll see you as always in the number 1 box.